we are live. Let me spend a few minutes to remind everyone to join us. Yes, we are live. We are live, and I'm delighted to be here at Raising Thriving Kids in the 21st Century. My name is Mike-Okhimhe, and I'm the founder of Kids Startup Book Club. And in today's section, we're going to be having a wonderful conversation, which is responsibility. Before then, let me appreciate you. Thank for joining in. And I also want to use this opportunity to also welcome those that will catch replay. If you're just joining me in my channel and you're just seeing this video for the first time, do me well to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. All right. So, welcome to thriving, raising, thriving kids in the 21st century. No doubt it is important for us to be intentional when it comes to raising our kids. Now, in today's conversation, we want to talk about responsibility. Why do our kids struggle with taking responsibility? Then, on the other way around, we also push this blame on our kids, feeling they are supposed to know. Yes, they've been seeing me doing all these things. So when I tell them one, twice, then they should be able to take initiative and do such. Then they always, at the end of the day, they always shock us, like those statements. They surprise us. We feel it's a surprise anyway. It's not a surprise. It's only that we did not prepare them. And so, what is responsibility? We're going to be talking about, for our objective is to touch what is responsibility, why do our kids struggle in taking responsibility, the traits you will see in children that take responsibility, and lastly, how we can start helping our children to take responsibility right away. I will also encourage you to drop your learning points on the comment section anytime it hits you hard. Now, so what is responsibility? Responsibility is the ability and commitment to carry out tasks and fulfill duties, then take decisions. Many a times, our children find it difficult to carry out their tasks, their responsibility, the duties given unto them, and they can't even take decisions on what to do and know what to do. And it becomes worrisome for us as parents. Now, I need you to know that responsibility is a crucial skill that your children need to learn because it contributes to personal growth, it contributes to successful relationships, having relationships that align with their values and your values. And I always also say, many a times, our children, okay, at KSBC, we let our children know that they cannot live, they cannot decide to stay alone, live alone. No one fulfill purpose alone. You need teams of people. And so when your children can't take responsibility, they might not be able to have that quality relationship that they need to succeed and climb the ladders of success in life and take the global stage. So it is important. The number two thing that I need us to know is there's certain behavior that the kids show when they show responsibility, when they take responsibility. One of it is being accountable. Children that take responsibility are accountable because they display actions, they take out actions, they do what they are expected to do. They are also reliable. Children that are accountability that are accountable, they do what? They are reliable. You can be rest assured that if you are not at home and you have given them tasks to do, then when you come back from home, you will be able, you are so sure, 100% sure that this child is going to do this thing. There's no need to be able to question this. They consistently perform their tasks. Then another thing again is self-discipline. Children that take responsibility, they are self-driven, they take charge of their life, they manage their behavior, and they manage their behavior and do what is expected of them. You see why our children need to learn how to take responsibility. When they learn how to take responsibility, these traits naturally flow in and through them. Being accountable, be reliable, self discipline. Then the other one is taking initiative. When your children can take responsibility, there is no way they will not take initiative. They will know, oh, this is what is expected. Oh, mommy is not around, but mommy didn't ask me to do this. But if I do this, mommy will be happy. If I read my book and I finish my assignment before daddy comes, my parents will be happy. If I do this, they take initiative. Nobody needs to push them around. They are self-driven. They take proactive actions. They take right decisions. They don't wait for you to do the right thing. They always do the right thing because why? They know they they have ownership for their life. They take ownership of their life. They take responsibility for their lives, and so they will take initiative. All right, I would love to know who, if you are watching me, you're watching right now. I would like to interact with you. Let's talk together by you putting your name on the chat box, and let me give you a virtual hug. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, and if you're catching the replay, do us well to drop comment sections of learning points from what we are learning together. We are learning together. All right, the next thing is maturity. One of the behavior of a child that takes responsibility, that takes full responsibility for their life, is they begin to behave maturely. They demonstrate appropriate behavior for their age. They won't do certain things and you'll be wondering, how can a teenager be doing this? How can a teenager be jumping around and doing this? They behave maturely. They don't do things out of place. All the things that they do are always right. And can you hear me? Can you see me clearly? I would like to know if you can hear me and if you can see me clearly. Do me well to post on the comment section. I can hear you, I can see you clearly. If you are just joining us, we are talking about why our children struggle with taking responsibility, and we've talked about what responsibility is. Oh, thank you. Hello, this is Akilolu. Sorry, internet was bad. All right, glad to have you here. I want your parents. It's your parent that needs to join in. Okay, thank you for joining in. I'm glad you are here too. At least you're keeping my company, and that's nice. Please, if you are watching us, do us well to comment on the comment section so that I can welcome you. So thank you, Akilolu. Thank you for joining us. All right. Another thing that we're going to be looking at is what are the things, why do our kids struggle with taking responsibility? Why do they struggle? Why do they struggle? One of the reasons why your children struggle, why our children struggle, is because they lack understanding. They lack understanding. They don't know what is expected of them. They don't know what they are supposed to do. You've not taken time to break down the expectation, what you expect of them. You've not taken your time to break it down in a simple terms. And so they can't place themselves, they can't see themselves doing that thing. If you yourself as an adult, you don't understand, you are in your office boss and your boss say, okay, he just said welcome to our company. Well, that's your seat. Sit down there, and you were not giving any information. You are not giving any prior things that you're supposed to do. What will happen? You will end up sitting down and be looking at everybody's face until someone explains what is expected of you. Likewise, your kids, when you don't tell them what is expected of them, they keep playing around. You don't tell them they need to do this. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. They end up not doing what they're supposed to do. So please, your children needs to know what is expected of them. Another thing is lack of consequences. When your kids, when you give them tasks to carry out, you give them responsibility, things to do, and they cease not to do it. You've told them, if you don't do your own fun, this is what I'm going to do. I won't allow you to watch TV for 30 minutes. I will stop you from watching TV for 2 days. And at the end of the day, your child didn't do assignment, and the child still get to watch the TV for those days. It simply means, oh, I can get away with anything. So your children won't take responsibility because there is a lack of consequence. You did not follow up consequences and consistency. When it comes to you give consequence and you don't follow up, then your child feels, if I don't do this, mommy is just bragging. That is just bragging. They are not going to do anything. So I can get away with this. So one of the reasons why your kids struggle is because there is a lack of consequences. You have not told them, if you don't do this, this is what will happen. You've not told them, and you didn't follow through. Some of us will tell them, but we will not follow through because we have exaggerated the whole issue. Your child didn't do assignment. You say, for 1 month, you're not going to, there's no screen time. For 1 month, there is no screen time. So the 1 hour that you're supposed to spend on TV for the whole 1 month, you can imagine giving that kind of bogus punishment, or should I call it punishment consequences? You won't be able to follow through. So why say what you don't mean to do? Why say it? You're not supposed to say it in the first place. So make sure whenever you give consequences, let it be appropriate to the tax given, and ensure you follow through. Another thing why your kids don't why they struggle with being responsible or taking responsibility is that there is parental over protection. We overprotect our children. We don't want them to try anything. Some of us, we feel it's part of being invoked, where your children don't do anything, then the house help gets to do everything. Your house help gets to wash the plate, or you yourself, oh, my son just came back from school, so I'm not going to do any washing. He's not going to do any washing. He's tired. Then you just came back from office. You enter the kitchen, you wash the plate, you sweep the floor, you cook food, you serve the food, you carry the food to the dining table. Your child is not doing anything. You are not helping your child. You are overprotecting your child. And you can see we've talked about the behaviors of children that take responsibility. Who does not like it when they have children that are self-disciplined? Who does not like it when you have child that take initiative? Children that take responsibility, that are responsible, they take initiative, they stand by their words, they are self-disciplined, they are accountable, they are reliable, and they behave maturely. So who doesn't like it? Every one of us will like it. So please stop it. If you have been doing the parental overprotection, start introducing certain tasks that they can start doing. Child appropriate tasks. Then another thing is fear of failure. You have not teach your children how to have growth mindset. Many of them have fixed mindset. They feel, if I fail, my mom, if I don't do this thing well, if I break the plate, my mommy will not be happy. And so because of that, they will not even want to carry out that task because they are afraid to make mistakes. They don't want you to get angry and get mad at them and talk to them anyhow. So they will not even want to try it at all. So one of the reasons why your children struggle with taking responsibility, our children struggle with taking responsibility is because they fear failure. They don't want to fail. You've not teach them to embrace failure because you will be the one to hammer them, crucify them, throw stone and crucify them. Mm, change your ways. Another thing is lack of role models. Have you been modeling responsibility to your children? Have you? Are you? Can they see people that are being accountable, that are taking responsibility when they are given tasks, they carry out the tasks. When they see children naturally tend and learn from what they see and what they can perceive, not what you are saying. So, as a parent, are you a role model? Are you a role model of responsibility? Are you role modeling what you're expected to model, or you are modeling a negative behavior to them? So, one of the reasons why your child struggle with responsibility is because they've not seen a role model. Children learn so much from role model, and so that is it. So, what are now the traits to show that your child is struggling with taking responsibility? What are the things that you see? Because many of us even don't know. We don't know. We are not aware. My coach will say you are not aware. You're not aware of what maybe your child is struggling or not struggling. You don't know. So we want to quickly go through the traits or the traits your children show, our children show when they struggle with taking responsibility. And number one is frequent excuses. When your children keep giving you excuses, mommy, I didn't do this because of this, mommy, I didn't do this because of that, mommy, I couldn't, daddy, I couldn't read my book because my sister said I should do this, so I couldn't do it. Oh, mommy, I couldn't finish up my task because of this. When your children keeps giving you excuses, note that your child is struggling with taking responsibility. When your child keeps giving you excuses, that child is doing what? Is struggling. So it's now you that if you are now aware, you will now know. The reason why we need to know this trait is now to know how to help our child, how to help our children to get better at taking responsibility and without you pushing them beyond boundaries. So they take excuses, frequent excuses, and unreasonable excuses. They are not genuine excuses. So when your child keeps giving you excuse, note that child is struggling with taking responsibility. The second one is forgetfulness. You will just tell them something. By the time they go out and come in, okay, you do this, let me use my son's name. Dominion, do this, Dominion, do that, do this. And before Dominion goes out and come back, he has forgotten the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth tax. He just did one and go and sit down. Hmm? That means Dominion is struggling with responsibility. When you give your child tasks to do, you've explained clearly. You know, one of the things that we said that your children, if your children is not taking responsibility, is because maybe they lack understanding. You've taken your time to explain. You've simplified the tasks for your child, and your child just did one and forgets about the remaining ones. Then that child is struggling with responsibility. Number three is blaming under others. Blaming others. When you have children that give, when something happened, they say it's not me, oh, it's my brother. It is not me, oh, it's my classmate. I'm not the one. It's not because I wanted to do it, but my teacher. I wanted to do this, but my mommy. I wanted to do this, but my sister. They keep blaming someone for not carrying out their duties, for not carrying out their tasks. Note that that child is struggling with taking responsibility. We've talked about frequent excuses. When your child takes excuses, we've talked about forgetfulness, then we've talked about blaming others. The next one is lack of initiative. There was a day I remember that day my children's phone is bad, and it happens that there was no way they could reach out to me, and there was no way I could reach out to them, and they were very hungry. We don't have house help. We stopped them about 2 3 months ago, and they were hungry, very hungry, and there wasn't any snacks for them to take, but they had soup, and so they took initiative for the first time in their life. Yes, they've been cooking, but they don't know how to make semo. So for the first time in my son's life, it entered the kitchen, warmed the soup, boiled water, and made semo. When I came back, I became a proud mother. Why? Because my son makes semo, mixed semo. Though it had, he told me, Mommy, it had small cocoa. I said, yes. When you continue to practice, you will make progress. And I pat him at the back. I said, well done. You have taken initiative. When children are not taking responsibility, one of the reasons why your children are not taking responsibility is because they lack initiative. So one of the traits is lack of initiative. They will not want to they will not want to do anything at all. They don't know it as bad. They don't know maybe they are supposed to do it. They can't just take decisions for themselves and for their siblings, or for themselves and their neighbors, or for themselves and their classmates. They lack initiative. The next one is emotional outburst. They can't manage their emotions. They will just get mad because they couldn't carry out that task, and they know the consequences is coming. So they will get mad. They will be angry. They will yell at their siblings. They will do this. They will do that. They can't even control. They won't be able to control their emotions because they don't feel happy within. Because when your children takes responsibility, it boosts their morale, and the positive emotion comes to play in their lives, and you see them being joyful. So when kids don't take responsibility, it's the other way around. They will experience more of negative emotions. They will get angry. They will be depressed. They will they will not they will just not be happy. And the last one is dependence on adults. They will depend. They can't just do anything right. They have to call mommy, they have to call daddy, they have to call this, they have to call that to get the work done. Hello, if you're just joining us, do us well to introduce yourself on the comment section. We would like to give you back a hug. All right. I don't want to talk alone. I want to see you, and let's interact together. And if you're learning anything at all, do well to drop on the comment section, put it on the slide so that we can see ourselves and enjoy the day. So when you know, no, 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 no. When you know that this trait can help you grow, help your child grow, you will want to go to extra learn to help your children to get better at taking responsibility. So now let's go to how can I start helping my child to take responsibility. We've been able to talk about what responsibility is, why kids struggle with taking responsibility. We've talked about traits of children that struggle with responsibility. And now we want to look at how. How can I? How can I help my child? Now I've known, I've seen that if my children lack responsibility, if they don't take responsibility, it's going to affect them a whole lot. So how can I start helping them? I want to read a quote by, I put it down, Barbara Coloroso. The name is Barbara Coloroso. He wrote in a quote and says, "Our kids are counting on us. Our kids are counting on us to provide two things. Number one, consistency. Number two, structure. Kids need parents who say what they mean what they say, and do what they say they are going to do." I'm going to take that quote again. Our kids are counting on us to provide two things: consistency and structure. Kids need parents who says what they mean what they say, and do what they say they are going to do. When you want your children to take responsibility, two things you need to take to put in consideration is you being consistent, your environment being structured, and being consistent with what you structured. Children who have who are in an environment of consistency and a structured environment tend to thrive and do better. Okay, so one of the ways that you can start helping your child to take responsibility is to set clear expectation. Set clear expectation. Kids thrive when their environment is predictable. Kids thrive when their environment is predictable. When we explain clearly what is expected of our children, then you can see them thriving and doing very well, showing being accountable, being self-disciplined, and being taking initiative and acting maturely. So the first thing you need to do as a parent is to set clear expectation. Let your children know what is expected of them. Let them know the duties that they need to carry out, how to carry it out, time to do it. Let them know clearly. And once this thing is stated clearly, things begin to flow naturally. The second one is start small. And I want to start with, now you've heard that Dominion did Semo, though it had cocoa. Then for a parent that a child or his child have not entered kitchen before, cannot boil water, you are expecting that child to pound yam. Hey, that's what most of us do. We enter gree gree. Ah, my friend, my friend, 16-year-old, my friend, 10-year-old child can now prepare soup and do pounded yam. You will now mount pressure on your 15-year-old child that have not gone to kitchen, that have not known how to boil water, to come and start pounding yam. How on earth do you expect her to do that? So if you have not been teaching your children to take responsibility, you need to start from the lower level and start graduating. When your child gets to take responsibility in little learner, they graduate to pre-nursery, they graduate to grade section, and before you know it, your children start doing very well. As parents, we need to give our children age appropriate tasks. The next thing you will need your child to do, after you have set clear expectations, after you have started introducing age appropriate, or let me say, some of us we didn't start early, so we just start little. Oh, this is what, two or three tasks, you give it out, and when they are now thriving in that area, you can now add more. Then consistent routine, that really helps. I remember when my kids started doing work, then they don't have routine, and so they do things anyhow. Sometimes they don't get to finish up their tasks. But about a year ago, my kids, we had timetable of the things that is expected of them daily, when they are supposed to read, when they are supposed to walk. Like my daughter, the time that my daughter does chores responsibility is quite different from the time that my son carries out his tasks. My daughter's energy is high in the afternoon, so it channels that energy into reading in the afternoon. Then towards the evening, he enters the kitchen or whatever her task is, and she carries it out. But my son is opposite of my daughter. So you have to have a consistent routine laid out for your children. You need to be observant as a parent, because I noticed then that when my daughter does her work, that's the chores, in the afternoon, then in the evening, when it's time for her to read, she starts dozing off. We try all we could until we try to exchange, until I heard one of my coach talked about your energy, being able to channel your energy into something greater. And I believe reading books, reading motivational books, reading their school books is something greater for them. I'm not saying doing home chores is not good. I'm saying she channels her energy into reading in the afternoon, and when her energy is low, she does other tasks and carry out all other tasks. So for you, you know what works for your child. There is no one way to parenting, every one of us, but the idea is we want better results for our children. So as a parent, you need to be observant. When is my child's energy high? When is her energy low, or his energy low? Which task can she carry out when her energy is high? Which task can she carry out when her energy is low? And before you know it, you see your children thriving and taking responsibility without any stress. So consistent routine, it helps your child to understand when and how to complete their duties and their tasks. Then another thing is involve them in taking decisions. Involve them in taking decisions. And I want to use myself as an example. Like I said earlier on, 3 months ago, we stopped our house help from coming. It's a daily work, it comes and go. But 3 months ago, we stopped totally. And before we stopped, we had talk with our children. Okay, this is why we are doing this, and we believe it's for your own good. What do you think? They talked. I said they love that concept, and they embrace it without stress. By the time I'm coming back from work, yes, they are not 100% perfect, but by the time I'm coming from work, everywhere it's okay. It's okay. So involve them when it comes to taking decisions. Talk to them, ask them questions, let them respond. And when they respond and you come to agreement, they know, this one, I'm involved, so I need to do it. They will be committed. They will show interest in whatsoever in carrying out their tasks. Then lastly, enroll your kids in a supportive environment. Enroll your kids in a supportive environment where they can thrive, where they see other kids take being accountable, taking responsibility without any push. And we have a platform. Yes, I have been here throughout the way. I will be more disciplined Right, thank you. Enroll them in a supportive environment at KSBC, which is Key Startup Book Club, is a supportive environment for your children. Is a place where you will teach your children to be responsible for their spiritual life, for their academic life, for every areas of their lives, because we will believe in raising rounded child, a child that is well balanced in every aspect of their lives. So you want, and KSBC is not only the platform for your kids, we have many platforms out there. You could go browse Google and check, then get your children involved. Let them do things. Let them be let them do see other kids thrive, and they will want to also equally do so. I want to believe we've been able to learn few things. As I was talking to, I learned a lot, because for me, I'm a student of learning. I keep learning, researching, and learning, and I don't want to keep the learning to myself. And that is why I'm here sharing with you what I've learned from my coaches, from my studying, and from God also. The Bible says, train up a child how it should go, and when he grows, he will not depart. He will not depart from that way. If you have been able to sit and raise your kids intentionally, your kids will not leave that right path. Instead, they will flourish. They will flourish. They will keep doing better. So I want to thank every one of you that you are here, and I can see some of us are here, but we are not talking. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I want to believe you learned one or two things. You can share your learning points with me on the comment section. You can as well ask questions and let's answer. If you have any question, we are here, we will answer. Then I want to appreciate everyone that is here. God bless you. Akinolu, thank you for joining us too. And I also want to appreciate those that will catch replay. Once you get here, say thank you. Thrive. Thank you. Nikki, thank you for joining in. I truly appreciate you. God bless you. How many of us are watching? Thank you. Strive to be the best. Thank you. What else have you learned? Share your learning points. Share your learning points. I'm so grateful that you are here. If you are catching a replay, do us well to introduce yourself, and I will be here giving you a virtual all. Thank you for spending your, I think it's almost 40 minutes, your precious 40 minutes here with us at raising thriving kids in the 21st century. God bless you, and see you next week, Friday, same time, and it can't be same day, but same time next week, Friday. I can't wait to have you back here. Every Friday, we have topics to dissect and talk on raising thriving kids. And if you have any topics you want us to talk on, drop on the comment section. We will do that. God bless you and see you next week Friday.